So we continue to walk through the creation account, the first couple chapters of Genesis. Tomorrow we'll go into the fall. Today we hear the pinnacle of God's creation, not just man, but of woman, and how woman is taken, as the church fathers commented, that taken from not Adam's head to say that she's above man, not from his feet that she's below man, but from his side that woman is equal in dignity to man. Now, I just want to focus on this last verse this is the verse right before the fall. It says, the man and his wife were both naked, and yet they felt no shame. So maybe just want to share just a little, maybe this is a little catechesis of John Paul II's theology of the body. He wrote significantly on original solitude, original nakedness. And what he talked about with original nakedness, he says it's important for us to go back to that spot in the garden of original nakedness, because what it does, he says, it will enforce in us the dignity of the human person. What is just gone out the window in our culture? It's the dignity of the person. And he says, going back there, it shines light on the depth of intimacy in which we're called for and what we're called to. And he goes on, he says that naked without shame is not that Adam sees Eve. It's not that Adam doesn't see Eve's nakedness, or that Eve doesn't see Adam's nakedness, right? They see each other, they desire one another, but what they see is they look at one another and they see the whole person. They don't see parts. And for us just to, in the Theology of the Body, chapter 13, he says, recounting this moment, he says, seeing each other reciprocally through the very mystery of creation, the man and woman see each other still more fully and clearly through the sense of sight itself, that is, through the eyes of the body. They see and know each other, in fact, with all the peace of the interior gaze, which creates precisely the fullness of the intimacy of persons. So what does John Paul always say? He says, the body reveals the person. The body reveals the person. When I see someone, I see the person, not just the body, right? I'm able to look at somebody and to look into their eyes. So he would say, even when we see the naked other, I'm able to look with an interior gaze as a person as a whole. With the fall, what do we see? Tomorrow we'll see this. What happens with the fall? They hide. They cover themselves in shame. They flee. They flee from God. They flee from one another, and they hide themselves from one another. And so with the fall, there's a depth of intimacy for us that's not easily attained. It's not as easily, there's barriers, which with, John Paul II, his theology of the body, he would talk about redeemed sexuality. Because of the cross, because of the resurrection, recreating, it also recreates, it redeems everything. And it also redeems sexuality from the fall. And so it's us participating. It's like it's going back to, as John Paul would encourage us, going back to original nakedness, to be healed in areas in our lives, maybe precisely with regards to sexuality, to be healed in those spots that maybe where there is shame, to know that Christ redeems, he makes whole, he restores. And, if we've, you can even just read summaries of John Paul's theology of the body, but I think the theology of the body just needed so badly today. But it can help us to gradually reorientate our vision to wholeness, to see each other as divine gifts, rather than what the culture encourages as parts and the objectification. So, we may even just Google, John Paul II original nakedness, and read more in his beautiful writing, what that calls to us. We spend time with that with Christ, knowing that his redemption redeems every part of us, like every part of us, including our sexuality, and to make us whole and to heal.